This is Christine Brown, and while I have to listen to this podcast as my motherly duty, you have the choice not to. My sons sometimes say some naughty things when they're trying to be funny, but really, they're just being stupid. Do you still want to listen? Go right ahead. I am not your mother.
All right, welcome to a special episode. We're going to call it an evergreen episode of Pages Dynasty podcast.
What does that mean? Evergreen?
Evergreen is something that can be released at any time.
But I don't know. I think we can come up with a better name with it.
That's just what they're called. It's not my name.
It's like the tree.
Yeah,
but
it's just always green. It's always fresh, always new content. This is just something that has no date attached to it. Give me a better name, Steve.
Well, we watched a show from 2014. It's not that fresh.
Oh, it's fresh. But if we're being honest, all of our episodes are evergreen. It doesn't fucking matter when they come out, does it?
No, you're right.
So this is a different type of evergreen content. This is a slight departure from our usual game recaps. We were put onto, I suppose, specifically Coach House. I didn't even write down his full name. Do you?
H-O-U-S.
Walt Houseman. Yeah.
Yep.
But when we talked to Matt Chatham in the 2001 Super Bowl episode.
This is the guy that was yelling at him at training camp, right? On the sidelines?
Yeah.
Okay, I could definitely see that.
Yeah. But he was his coach in college. And he's from New Hampshire.
Merrimack,
New Hampshire. That's right. Represent. And so, and apparently he was on this TV show called Los Angeles Kiss. Actually, no, the TV show was called Fourth and Loud, and it was about the Los Angeles Kiss.
the Arena Football League.
Yeah, for those who don't know, I mean, I don't know if there's many of those out there, but the Arena Football League had, back in, like Steve said, 2014, an expansion team that was partnered with Kiss, the rock band, if you can call them that.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Oh, we sure will.
It's a bit inflammatory. I don't like your tone.
That's fine. We can hash this out in a minute. But so this was AMC apparently. It was a documentary about this expansion team for the AFL.
So it's basically Hard Knocks, but Arena Football League, and also has the two dudes, Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons from Kiss.
Yeah.
On AMC, which is not a sports network. We'll call it that.
Yeah, no, I would give you that. They don't even really strike me as a documentary network.
There's a lot of bleeping out of Coach House too.
A lot of bleeping out of a lot of coaches. Pretty much every coach. There was three main ones on here. It was Coach Bob. What was it, Dad Bob? Is that what they called him?
He had a dad bod.
No, but one of the guys who would play for Fred.
Yeah.
Daddy Bob. So Bob McMillan was the head coach. And he reminded me of somebody, but I couldn't put it together who it was. So
he looks like my friend Colt, and I texted my friend and told him that, and I ended up offending him.
I mean, the guy, he's not a small man. He's not huge, but he's not slender.
Oh, it's their goatee. They had like the same looking little goatee there.
Oh yeah, that'll do it. So, but his assistant head coach was Coach House, Walt Houseman, who we just mentioned. And they have their player personnel guy, the Ernie Adams of the AFL. I have written down. Name is Scott Bailey.
He was just always packing the fattest lip.
Yeah,
he was.
Just full moons.
Just constantly, yeah. So, and then it just follows. So a little bit of backstory. I think the three coaches had worked together a lot before. And Coach Bob was brought in because he had never had a losing season. He played for a ton of years as a fullback in the AFL, never had a losing season, won a bunch of championships, and then became a coach, still never had any losing seasons, and then so that's why they picked him up, because they wanted to bring what do they keep saying about LA and how they wanted to
They want to
there's
bring,
no
bring a
football team.
championship to LA or something. Yeah.
want to bring the loud, fourth and loud.
The fourth and loud. So yeah, talk to me about because Greg, you were the one that kind of pushed for this. So I want to know your thoughts first and foremost.
Yeah, so Chatham brought it up when we were interviewing him, and I Googled it because I was like, I didn't know there was a arena team based off Kiss. And like, obviously, Kiss is ridiculous. And then you looked at their jerseys, and they're just the most obnoxious thing you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I got to watch this show. And then I watched all 10 episodes in about 2 days. And I can't tell if I loved it or hated it.
Yeah.
But I watched them all, so I clearly got something out of it.
So I think can you describe the uniforms to our listeners? Because I'm not sure I don't know if we can portray it well enough. We might have to.
I got a good apt comparison. You take like a 4 or 5 year old who loves monster trucks, and you say, "Design me some NFL uniforms," and he goes, "All right."
So, and the best part about that is I agree with you completely. But this was Paul Stanley's. Like, he was very involved with the making of the uniforms and the helmets.
Yes. As Kiss does.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, they are basically from the shoulder pads up is all flames. They have flames on the shoulders going backwards, and then literally the front of the face mask up almost like a hot rod. Like if you can picture like the front of a hot rod and the flames going back, it's like that, but for the football helmet.
Yeah,
including the
flame.
visors, too.
Yeah, the flame visor is pretty sweet. I got to admit.
That was okay. I could admit that was legit.
But if they didn't, it just looked like their face masks were multicolored.
It would have been awesome if they'd had like matte black helmets, like some matte in there would have been. They were just like chrome and everything as well.
Oh yeah,
Flames and
it's
chrome.
tacky.
And it's just almost too much.
It was very,
Almost too much, dude. That's their thing, though, right? Like if I went to a Kiss AFL game and there were like classy uniforms, I'd be like, this doesn't make any sense,
right. Yeah, like an understated all black or something.
Yeah, their shtick is like, well, let's be as gaudy and tacky and over the top as possible, I think.
Yeah, I think they pulled it off.
Nailed it.
Yeah. So the interesting thing about the show, it's kind of like Hard Knocks, where it's like following a team, but then they had the whole like front office aspect to it. So there's like these two dudes that run the team, Brett and Skyler.
That guy.
Can you spell Skyler for me?
Schuyler.
Yeah.
This fucking guy, dude. Both of them. Brett, I can't fucking stand either. He's a weasel.
Oh, weasel. That's a Brett. Oh, you're actually fucking. You want to do it now?
Well, let's set them up because so there's those two guys running the team, and then there's Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons from Kiss. They're like
the Brett and Skyler are what they were calling co-owners. I'm not quite sure what the partnership was. They didn't really explain the partnership between them and Kiss.
Right.
Brett definitely put up money. You could tell that he had a fair amount of money involved in this.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it sounded like Kiss was like the creative direction of the team, and those two guys were like operations. And then you had the coaching staff, which is Bob, Coach House, and Scott.
Yeah, and Scott.
And those are like the main players.
Yeah.
And the dynamic between them was electric.
Yes.
So quick poll: were you guys team douchebag or were you team coach?
What? No bias in this poll, though.
Why you didn't
It's a
think
fucking troll.
you didn't think Bob was a douchebag?
No, I didn't mind
No,
Bob.
I fucking loved him.
Really? The coach,
He
the
would
head
go
coach?
to bat for his guys regardless. It was 100%.
Yeah, and he took all the blame too.
Took 100% of the blame regardless of whose fault it was.
And they had an 8-game losing streak or something ridiculous.
Yeah, it got bad at the end.
They went like 3-15
Yeah,
or some shit like
They
that.
started off 2-1, and then ended up 3-15. So you can figure out the numbers from there. It was not great.
Snake bitten.
Yeah.
I don't know if you got to that episode, Andy.
I did. Yeah.
I don't remember which one that was. Let's see. Did I get the snake bitten?
They got hit with the venom. But, so this is their inaugural season, and I don't know if this is true, but on the surface it looks like they're dumping more into this than any other team in that league, right? So they go out and they snag the coach of the year from whatever previous year.
Yeah.
They bring in Colt Brennan of University of Hawaii fame for their quarterback.
Yep.
They have this huge budget, which they were saying was like double anybody else in the league, just for like entertainment purposes.
Yeah.
So they're like, everyone's like, we're doing this. Like the coaches are going into the year promising we're going to win the championship, the Arena Bowl. and not to give a spoiler, I can't imagine anybody's actually going to watch this whole thing. But basically, they start out decently well and then just dive bomb for like 8 episodes of the season. And just watching these people self-destruct in front of your eyes was so entertaining.
They're getting like doubled up too in arena football, like 80-40.
Oh yeah. The scores were outrageous. It was like 63-12 in some of these things. It was ridiculous. Which again, I think, like, okay, we've been to a couple of arena football games, and it's usually pretty high scoring. Like, to see both scores in the 50s is not uncommon, but to see a team scoring 12 points is, I think, less common.
Might as well be a shutout.
Right, yeah. But
like, what the fuck were they expecting? They're trying to like start a new arena football team. There's not enough talent for like 3 arena football teams.
Yeah. I mean, so that was the interesting part, is like the finding people to actually play on these teams is like way harder than I thought it would be.
They did 2 open tryouts. One of them during the middle of the season.
Just to the public.
Yeah. Just fucking show up, and if you can play, we'll.
How much these guys getting paid?
Oh, they said it. It was like
isn't it like a max salary or something like that?
It's like $800 a week or something. I think it's something like that.
So also, I just realized that it doesn't even exist anymore. Did you know that?
Yeah, it like folded.
It shut down.
Or so. Not too long ago.
It folded like in November.
Oh, of this year? Like the Arena Football League did?
Yeah, 2019. They filed for bankruptcy.
But they had a second division, which is what was the one in Manchester here that we went to. Manchester, was it Wolves?
You almost bought season tickets. You fucking tell me.
I wanted to, yeah. The Manchester Wolves.
Why would you buy season tickets to the Manchester Wolves?
Because you could sit up front, and any ball that goes into the stands, you get to keep. Yeah. And how expensive were Manchester Wolves season tickets? Like
but it's not about the money, Andy. It's about taking time out of your day, like weekly, to go to an arena football game.
All right, so answer me this. Now, right now, that there's
just to get a ball.
How much would you pay right now to go watch an arena football game?
I would go to one game.
If that was only sport left.
I'd be like, saw what I needed to see.
Yeah, but that was Division II.
What if arena football had like the talent level of the NFL though? Then I think it would be awesome.
Well, tell that to Kurt Warner.
There you go.
True. But it's so fast and like
Yeah, it was kind of exciting. Might have just been the tricks of the camera, but they made it look kind of cool.
well, it's
And
like
some,
it's a hockey size because they play them in hockey stadiums. You could tell.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
So you
it's
just
a
take
half
football and
field.
you kind of condense it down in there and just speed everything up.
Yeah, it's 50 yards and it's like half as wide. So it's real narrow, real short. And the field goals are 9 feet apart instead of the full width.
I would think they should have left up the hockey boards though. You know?
dude, so many people getting hurt.
Well, instead they're just flipping over them into the fans.
It's even better though. That's so much better.
That's how you get season tickets. So,
So I looked it up. Actually, LA Kiss did sell the most season tickets in the AFL that year.
that makes sense.
They were the only
Because-
team to average 10,000 fans in attendance for all their home games, despite going so terrible.
I bet they still lost money.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I bet they
Well,
hammered
all
it.
the other teams they were playing were like from cities, like just second-rate cities. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
Portland,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prescott, Arizona.
Yeah.
Which team were the Barnstormers? I don't even know. It was definitely
Iowa.
yeah. I wouldn't
Probably like
care.
Sioux Falls.
That's
I don't
who.
even think it matters where.
That's where Kurt played.
That's right. Yeah, he played for the Barnstormers.
Yeah. So you want to talk about the roster
Yes, I think we should.
players?
I think we should probably start with the quarterback because that was the most interesting situation.
Colt. So,
Yeah.
Colt, do you remember Colt Brennan?
Yeah, he was an absolute stud in Hawaii.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, he's
looking
on
at
the
his
skid,
stats
too.
now. In 3 years, he threw for 14,000 yards
Yeah. He's the 9th most yards ever.
and 131 touchdowns. He threw 58 touchdowns in 2006.
Yeah. He basically has like the second best touchdowns per game average for anybody that threw over 100 touchdowns.
That's ridiculous. Like 58 touchdowns in one season.
Yeah. You know who the only person that had more on average?
Kurt Warner.
Tim Rattay.
Oh, so that obviously translates, doesn't it?
And the most overall touchdowns? Case Keenum.
Really?
Gunslinger.
All right, most touchdowns in a season?
Overall.
No, I'm talking. Do you know who
Will we know him?
you would? It just happened this year.
Joe Burrow.
Threw 60 touchdowns, Joe Burrow.
Jesus Christ.
2 more than second place Colt Brennan. Oh man, you want to hear just the top 10 list of these? Joe Burrow, Colt Brennan, David Klingler, B.J. Simmons,
Texas Tech.
Dwayne Haskin, Derek Carr, Sam Bradford, Brandon Doughty, 2014 Western
Ohio.
Kentucky,
Western-
Anthony Gordon, and Brandon Doughty again, and then Case Keenum.
Some
Yeah,
studs.
that's not a who's who in the NFL.
Cliff Kingsbury's on this list though.
Yeah, it's
45,
basically just that
Texas Tech. Yeah, it's basically
Texas Tech offense.
Now let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, Texas Tech in the top 25. Damn. Oh, Patrick Mahomes.
Mahomes
Texas
slacking,
Tech.
yeah.
Yeah, he's on here too. Jesus. This is a list. Oh, Geno
So I
Smith
missed the
on this
episode
list.
where they got rid of their first guy, their first quarterback.
So the
Colt?
reason, Colt McCoy,
Not Cole.
Colt Brennan, Colt McCoy, Jesus. But the reason he couldn't play was because he suffered a car accident and it was such a bad car accident that he had brain damage. The way he explained it was something like he had a scar on his brain, isn't that right?
Mm-hmm.
And it makes him do like impetuous and things like that. So he basically, like, he was their ace in the hole and he couldn't pass his physical because they said if he played he might die.
So he never plays a snap.
No. Well, he did. He played like 3 snaps in the first practice, and then got yelled at for not being allowed to do that.
He actually never played again.
Yeah, I don't doubt that at all. I wouldn't. It's not great. Wow. So that left. Greg, who are the other 2 quarterbacks? JJ
Ratterink. He's
Ratterink.
He's the only one on the roster, and they're like, all right, we got to go with Ratterink.
Yeah.
Which I think they traded their first overall pick in the expansion draft for him.
Really?
Yeah.
He's my dude. I love JJ.
Yeah, I figured you would.
He's a Arena Football League veteran. I would say, who's his NFL comp? Jeff Garcia.
Okay.
Nailed it. He is Jeff Garcia.
I don't know if Jeff Garcia runs pass routes, though.
That's true. But he's like a crafty looking, probably undersized white guy that can kind of run a little bit. Veteran.
I would say Brian Hoyer.
No, we're going to stick with Jeff Garcia.
I think Jeff Garcia has too much talent, though. Jeff Garcia didn't never
NFL. Brian Hoyer has too much talent.
You clearly haven't seen enough of JJ Ratterink.
Oh, I think I have, though.
So I missed the episode why they got rid of him, though. And he wins them 2 games.
Couldn't
and
stop throwing interceptions.
4.
Yeah. Well, they couldn't protect him.
Yeah, they couldn't protect him, and even when they did, he couldn't make the right decisions.
The problem with these guys is that they came in with unreasonable expectations.
Very much so.
And then they weren't immediately winning, and everybody panicked, except for the 2 fucking dudes from KISS who knew nothing about football. Everybody else is losing their shit. All these like Arena Football veterans are all like, what do we fucking do? Dude, that's the reason I didn't like the coach is because every game you just come in screaming his tits off at the players.
Oh, yeah.
Even the games they were winning, he was screaming. I was like, dude, if you just screaming all the time, people are just going to turn off, you know? So they just start like cutting people left and right, making desperation trades.
But I think that was Brett Bushy's fault. I think he started meddling, and he started like making calls to these other players and like forcing them to hold open tryouts and all this shit.
Oh, yeah.
I think he exacerbated the whole thing.
Oh, he was the worst. He's fucking trying to make trades at halftime.
Yeah, he's calling people to get them out of retirement. Who's that quarterback they want to get out of retirement? He's basically, I wrote down, he's a poor version of Jerry Jones.
Oh yeah, and his face just makes him look like such a weasel.
He's definitely got a very punchable face.
Yeah,
he's got the handlebar mustache. The
Fu Manchu.
Yeah.
Like that's his style. It wasn't ironic at all.
That with like the Fu Manchu that was his haircut too, where his forehead started at the top of his head, and then for some reason he kept all the hair like behind it, and it kind of just like it was like super light and flowy. It was kind of like flowed out backwards as if he had just come like off a motorcycle, but I don't think he definitely didn't drive a motorcycle. He's the CEO of a solar energy.
He's got a Harley parked in the garage. He just doesn't ride it that often.
No, he has one. He just never rides it. Yeah, but I looked him up. He's the CEO of a solar energy company called Freedom Forever, and I think he used to be like, just like one of those finance guys. What do they call those venture capitalists kind of guys?
Yeah,
so
angel investors.
Money. Yeah, so I think that's how he made his money. And so I found this interview with him. I don't even know who it's with. I don't know if he just like interviewed himself. but it's just like your typical awful bullshit. So here is him talking about on the importance of company culture. We're focused on creating an incredible culture. And I know everybody says that, but then actually executing on that vision is different. If you came to our office, you would understand. We have a 34,000 square feet in our corporate headquarters in Temecula, California. We have a big 6,000 square foot room that we call the Fun Room, which has an arcade of 60 different actual old retro video games. We have a ping pong table, we have foosball, we have shuffleboard. Looks like Dave and Buster's without the bar. The reality of today's economy is that when you take out the sleep that you're doing at home, a lot of people and your senior people are at work more than they're home now. It's really important for our employees to have a great life-work balance, but when they're there, to make sure it's a great experience and they can have fun.
Where was that shit for the kiss?
Right?
He's the worst like people manager I've ever seen.
It's gone.
Yeah. I'm leaning towards firing you. And the dude's like, well, just fire me then. It's like, no, I'm telling you that I think I'm gonna fire you next week.
Yeah.
So you gotta oh yeah, that'll make me work real hard.
Yeah. And the coach comes in like, I just want to make it clear I want to have full control of football. Brett's like, yep, get it. 3 weeks into the year, he's already like trying to trade the fucking quarterback. I was like, dude,
yeah,
what happened to letting him have control of the team?
That's probably a good spring. We're saying bringing that. I missed how they got the even older quarterback.
Well, that's what happened. Was this guy went and literally called the guy up at halftime, being like, "Hey, we need you to come out of retirement. Would you do?"
He was in retirement. Okay.
Yeah, because he was
This
like,
guy
he
is quarterback / offensive coordinator.
Yeah, well, he came into the league the same year that the coach Bob did. Like they
Oh.
played their rookie years the same year.
And he's like a legend of the game.
Yeah, he set like a whole bunch of passing records and has like a whole bunch of championships.
And he calls his own plays. He doesn't need like an offensive coordinator because he is the offensive coordinator. He just calls them on the field.
Yeah, he's
Unless
his
he
own
gets
offensive coordinator.
unless he gets hurt.
Spoiler alert. He gets hurt the first game.
Or unless he hurts his ribs and then he can't speak because his ribs hurt.
Yeah, he can't breathe.
So he can't even call plays from the sidelines. So then you just have no plays.
Put the backup in who doesn't know what to call, and the coach no longer knows what the plays are because
The coach just says, just call whatever you like.
call your own plays.
To the backup quarterback.
He's like, all right, I like pick 6.
Which is exactly what he threw on his first
He immediately throws an interception.
Yeah, shocking that, isn't it? Oh,
It was the worst run organization I've ever seen.
but I think like from the beginning when they had the first meeting with the coaches and Brett, they call him Brett Bushy, but his last name is spelled Bouchy. So the fact it doesn't rhyme with douchey just tweaks it. So we're gonna call him Brett Bushy from now on. But in his first meeting with the coaches, he floated the idea of making the players wear kiss makeup during the game.
Yes.
What's funny is I said that like 5 minutes before he did. I was like, wouldn't it be ridiculous if they made him wear the makeup? And then
And the
he
look on the coach's face. Even Kiss was like, "That's fucking tacky as shit."
Yeah, that's what I want to get at too. Is those I really liked Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons.
I couldn't stand them.
were.
I thought they were insufferable.
Here's
What?
something to make you like him even more. They fired Brett and Skylar after this.
Oh, nice.
This was their only year. They brought in a different guy to lead the team.
Good.
That makes me like him slightly more.
Why do you dislike them, Andy?
I just thought they were fucking. They were insufferable. Just their whole. I don't know. Just everything that they did rubbed me the wrong way.
That's not giving me many examples.
Well, how about the fact that all they could talk about was how the fact that they had been together for 40 years. But then halfway through one of the episodes, they're talking about replacing everybody. And they're like, oh, well, when we had to because all the coaches like were sticking together. They basically said like, if you fire one of us, you fire all of us, because they were trying to fire the Scott Bailey, the player personnel guy.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, sometimes you have to do what it takes to be famous. And our record label, when we first started, said you have to get rid of this one guy. And so we said, yeah, fuck it, that's fine. Like, Jesus.
Yeah, I kind of respect it.
Yeah, I feel that they were like RKK-esque, involved, but not overly involved. Cared about the brand and the way it's being stewarded, but let them do their jobs.
Yeah, they didn't. They were completely honest about not knowing much about football, and they didn't try and meddle in the football things. They'd even ask, like, "Do you think we need to address a quarterback?"
They contributed where they could, like with all the promoting and leveraging the KISS brand and all that.
Yeah, I love them.
I don't know. It felt to me like they were just in it to promote KISS and not like a football team.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
that's like KISS's whole thing is just like over the topness, and like they're not actually good musicians.
Whoa.
We're just taking shots left and right here.
Whoa.
I hope no KISS fans listen to this, because they're not going to be happy.
I mean, I'm not saying they're like bad, but they're not like epically good, right?
Well, you want to get into this? Do you want to go down and talk KISS a little bit?
You do, Greg, clearly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I knew nothing about KISS going into this. Everybody knows this stupid face paint shit.
Yeah.
Which again is part of their brand and why they're good branding.
Yeah.
Fair.
But they're a really successful band, regardless of if you like the music or not.
True.
They've sold a fuckload of albums, like 75 million albums. They have the most gold records of anybody ever, I guess, because they just were pumping out studio albums. They have like 30 plus studio albums.
Jesus Christ.
And then the other aspect
It's all gold.
is that like, people say they have like the most money made off merchandise, probably more so than any other band ever. So that's been part of their thing forever, has been like, yeah, let's merch it,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I think they're a great marketing and branding and like business people. Like, I don't think they're like a particularly epic musicians though.
No, but I don't know if they ever like sold themselves as that, right? I think they were like, yeah, we put on a great live show.
Yep.
Yeah, we market well. And to be fair, like that was kind of the feeling I got, is that they were way more savvy businessmen than I had anticipated. And it would make sense for how they brand their band. Yeah.
I didn't really think about this until I watched this, where they were like, yeah, and like we've sent people home from the band. We like kicked them out of the band. And when you have that face paint, it doesn't, like, it's the paint, not the people. So you can kick someone out the band and no one's even going to know because you paint the next guy like a cat.
Dude, the cat guy, we got the shaft. Like they always like.
Do they get to like pick their own though? Because that may have just been his own fault, though, right? Like, oh, I always wanted to be a cat. And then like he now has
I'm a
to
lizard.
the next 40 fucking years. Like, oh man, wish I hadn't picked a cat.
The cat. He's got fucking whiskers, dude. He looks so stupid.
Yeah, it's not great.
But I went down a rabbit hole of all the ridiculous like KISS merchandise you can get. And some of it's pretty
We
fucking
had it in his
hilarious.
house. They had dinner at Gene Simmons' house with the whole team.
Yeah.
And they had like
That's probably the very tip of the iceberg, though.
maybe. It looked like he had a story
Oh,
in
yeah.
his house.
So one thing they had on Wikipedia was between 1977 and 1979, they sold $100 million worth of merchandise.
Good God.
It's a lot for back then, too.
Yeah. For
Yeah.
what, 3 years? So a couple of things that jumped out. One was they did a comic book with Marvel where each of the band members had blood drawn, and then they put it in the ink that was used for the comic book.
Oh my God.
It's genius.
It isn't, but okay. See,
Yes,
that's
it is.
art.
And another thing is the kiss casket.
Yep.
So caskets, casket spelled with a K. So exactly what you think. It's what people get buried in. And like I was just like scrolling Google Images and I was like, oh my God, a casket. And I was like, I wonder if this is something you can actually buy. And not only is it something you can buy, but it has its own fucking Wikipedia page, just the casket.
Oh, it does. I don't know. There's too many K's in Kiss Casket.
Yeah, they're 1K away from it being problematic.
If it's Kiss Casket, there's 3 in there. You spell casket with 2 K's, bud.
But you don't capitalize the third one.
Well, it depends on who you are.
Dimebag Darrell from Pantera. He was buried in a Kiss casket. Have you guys heard the story about how Dimebag died?
Oh man, that is the most metal death in the history of heavy metal music.
This is where my rabbit hole ended up. Is he's playing a show with his other band at some nightclub in Ohio.
A step back, he used to be the lead guitarist for Pantera.
Yes, Pantera.
The biggest band in metal, really.
Yeah. Like super talented guitarist.
Yeah, he was like they were like the heavier version of Metallica.
Mm-hmm.
So if you wanted something more metal than Metallica, you go Pantera usually.
And I never really listened to Pantera, but because I went down this rabbit hole, I started checking them out, and they are so kick-ass.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're right. It's like true headbanger music.
Yeah,
but
it's heavy.
Yeah.
Still
he's playing at a nightclub in Ohio, and a deranged fan rushes the stage with a 9mm semi-automatic pistol, shoots Dimebag. The head of security tackles him, shoots the head of security, shoots a fan, shoots like an employee of the venue. It's a quadruple homicide. And then a police officer shows up and kills him with a 12-gauge shotgun to the head.
What?
Yeah.
Just so fucking metal, man.
Yeah. So he literally died, and apparently the guy shot him because he didn't like the fact that Dimebag had left Pantera and was now with his new band, Damage Plan.
Yep.
Yeah. And so that's why he shot him. But that's how he died, was playing metal on a stage at some nightclub in Ohio. It doesn't get any more metal than that.
Yeah. The police officer, James Niggemeyer. Gotta be careful with that one.
James Niggemeyer, oh yeah.
No, Niggy. It's
okay.
You watch your mouth, Andy. How dare you?
Niggemeyer.
Yeah. It all hinges on that middle E there.
That's true. You gotta get the in there.
Yeah, you really want it to be a hardie, not a softie.
Yeah, absolutely. Man.
Well,
this has been a rabbit hole, hasn't it?
Did your rabbit hole lead you to the most ridiculous Kiss item?
That wasn't it.
Please do explain.
Way more ridiculous. I guess it's kind of like the circle of life with the Kiss condoms.
Oh, yeah, I read about him. I didn't see him though.
Also condoms with a K.
Yep.
And it's like Gene Simmons' face on it, but his tongue is like half the condom.
Oh man.
How about this? Oh, I got an idea. If they haven't branded it, the Kiss carpet with a K, and just a carpet with a huge, like your whole house carpeted with just like pictures of Gene Simmons' tongue sticking out.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine?
Now we're getting somewhere.
I don't know that we are.
Ooh, the Kiss catheter. Now we're working with something. We're back into my industry here.
Yeah, I was gonna say I knew working in that industry would pay off one day on this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
What would that look like, Greg?
Well, I mean, you'd have a tough time getting it through the FDA, but the marketing would be easy.
I would agree. Yeah. Well, what part of the catheter would be painted as the tongue? I wonder.
Oh, obviously the catheter body, and then you have the extension lines be some like his eyes or face, so it looks like he's sticking his tongue into wherever you're inserting that catheter.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's not where I thought this was headed, but all right.
Yeah. I'll bring it to my CEO, see what he thinks.
Okay, sounds good.
Where were we? Oh, so do you want to hear about Kelly, my wife, crying during the show?
Oh yeah.
Can you guess what point she cried at?
When BJ made the team.
When BJ made the team,
Yes.
I looked over and Kelly was weeping on the couch.
I started missing up a little bit, not gonna lie.
Were you?
No.
Okay.
Wait. Just not to backtrack, but to backtrack. There's a Gene Simmons toilet paper holder where it looks like the roll of toilet paper is coming out of his mouth as his tongue.
Ooh. Red toilet paper?
I guess if he got red toilet paper, he could. This is just using a picture of white toilet paper. Apparently, it was big in Japan.
It just does feel like a very Japanese.
Yeah.
There is red toilet paper.
Well, how do you know?
Loving it.
How do you know if you're shitting out blood, though? I thought that's why they made it white.
Oh, fuck me. Oh, good Lord.
All right, back to BJ.
Oh yeah, that's right. We were talking about the roster, weren't we?
The Bell brothers.
It feels like such a long time ago.
So BJ and Bo Bell.
Yeah.
The Bash brothers in the middle of the heart of that defense.
Yeah, so it was Bo that was like the actual quality. He was a linebacker. Was
He's
like
a
the linchpin of the
Pro
defense.
Bowler. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they were like, dude, no one wants to play arena football. My brother like played in, when he was 13. Should he try out?
It's like, no, they played together in high school because his mom wanted them to play together again.
Yeah. And she didn't care. Like
She was less enthused than I thought she would be.
Exactly. They were trying to play that storyline because it's AMC, and they're like, the two brothers, will they end up on the team together?
Yeah.
And like their mom will be so proud, and she just clearly didn't give a shit.
Yeah. Yeah. She's like, oh, that's great. I'm glad you
Like, how much
having fun.
do you think like the producers had any say in it as well? Like, you have to keep Bo, so we have a storyline.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
Which
Which makes the coach's job even harder. Now, like, you have these two fucks with no idea what the hell they're doing as your bosses. You have this AMC being like, you need to keep this guy who sucks at the game so we can have a storyline.
Yeah, but you knew that going in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I getting paid.
For sure.
It didn't
So
seem like-
BJ, and this is a problem I have with all these shows. Like Kelly watches a decent amount of them where it's these reality shows where they chop them up and they're clearly like have a storyline that isn't necessarily a storyline, but the way they edit the footage, you can tell when they'll do it a lot where they have like someone will say something and then they'll like pull a reaction from a different angle that you can tell isn't actually a reaction to what the person was saying.
Yeah.
And then just slot it in there and like put like, ooh, silence and cricket noises in the
Right.
in the audio, so it makes it look like they like didn't react well to it, but it's bullshit.
Right.
Oh, there's even a reality show about the producers of reality shows now.
Wait, what?
Good.
Yeah,
I'd be
Lauren
interested in
watches
that.
Yeah. Where would
Actually, I don't think
find
it's reality. It's like a fake show about the producers of a fake reality show
that?
Oh.
It's even better. A
where it's
mockumentary.
like where they're like manipulating all the people to try and generate storylines.
Yeah, okay.
Even the football scene. See, I don't even mind it that much when it's like, whatever TV show, but the football things were driving me crazy because I couldn't keep track of what the scores of the games were.
Oh yeah, that was driving me nuts. They kept
that guy
cutting
was
to like clips of like a ball floating through the air. I'm like,
Oh, the ball floating through the air clip.
and it was the same clip over and over again. Like every time there was a deep ball, like in the like they show a play and the quarterback would throw a deep ball, then they cut to this clip of this ball floating through the air. It's like
In an empty
Yeah, we know.
stadium.
Yeah.
Whenever they clearly were like, yo, go out to the stadium and just get a clip of a ball thrown through the air. So a guy just threw a ball in the air and they shot it.
or a ball hitting the netting for like every kick.
Oh, that was driving me crazy.
There's also the quote unquote play by play announcer that was
Yes.
really just like setting up a script.
Yep.
Because he'd say things that like no play by play announcer would ever say.
Yeah, and the audio just didn't like make sense. Like you hear audio from a game and you can tell like it's live, but this guy's clearly just like reading over the whatever they had, the highlights.
Yeah, it was 100% recorded after the fact.
And like, where was his commentator or his color guy?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It was just one, which made it awkward. And he was clearly just advancing the
honestly,
script.
I would imagine that AFL games probably only had one guy doing the radio and not a team of two.
Yeah, I
It
think
wasn't this guy, even if they did.
I think JJ would be great in the booth. Put him and Colt Brennan together.
AJ Raderink?
Colt wasn't there all the way, right?
No.
Okay.
No, yeah, he definitely had some stuff going on. I felt pretty bad for him actually.
Yeah, I know. Me too.
Because he definitely broke down when they told him like he'd probably never play football again. You could tell that blindsided the shit out of him.
That was definitely real. Yeah. I felt bad for him.
Brutal.
And that's the thing. Some of these shows, like if they had real moments like that, it'd be like authentic and compelling television. But for some reason, they feel the need to like manufacture it.
Yeah, that's the word. Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't great. But also not great was I'm looking up JJ Raderink's stats on the season for 2014 when he played for Los Angeles. Spoiler alert, he only played for them for 1 year. So the 2 years before, in 2012, he threw for 93 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. Pretty good.
That's what I'm saying.
This year, he threw 38 touchdowns. Still pretty good. 19 interceptions.
Well, what about the other team he played for when they traded him?
22 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Boom. What's the problem here?
Ooh. Not having offensive line.
Coaching.
Offensive line turnover.
It's fucking Scott's fault.
Dude, he went to go play arena football in China.
Whoa.
Football in China? What?
The China Arena Football League.
Imagine how wild that is.
He was drafted in the 12th round by them in the 16 draft.
Whoa.
And he went 82 of 144, 1,100 yards, 20 touchdowns, 7 interceptions.
It's pretty good.
It's not bad. Coach Bob, his record. Let's see the other side of this. He was with Chicago for 3 years before coming to LA, and he finished 33-21 for a 611 win percentage, and went 1-2 in the playoffs. Lost in the conference championship and the conference semifinals.
It's not that good.
So it's pretty good. 13-5 and then 10-8 2 seasons in a row. Pretty good, but not great.
Can we talk about Skyler? Because I don't think we've hated on him enough yet.
No, definitely not.
All right, yes. You mean Schuyler?
Just the fact that your name is Skyler isn't bad enough.
How do you spell it again?
SCHUYLER.
You can't get Skylar out of that. I'm sorry. SCH is like how you spell school. So it's Schuyler, not Skylar.
Why you call it Shul?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why, what do you call it?
No, I mean, it makes sense, but it's still a dickhead way to spell it. Just spell it like everybody else spells it. Hate that shit.
So hang on. So I just want the listeners to paint a picture of what they think this Skylar looks like.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, fucking get off.
Picture him in your head, Skylar Hoverston.
Yeah.
So just picture.
And you've got it. I guarantee it.
He's like the director of entertainment for a KISS affiliated Arena Football League team. Just
Yeah, he wasn't even director. He was like VP or
he's a co-owner, but essentially his function was right. He was like
he's president.
He didn't do shit.
No.
And he's like the worst, like, you know, those people in like corporate life where they're just like, depending on the audience, they're different, you know? Where he was like kissing ass and deferring to anyone like above him, like a yes man. And then the people below him, he'd be like a tough guy. Like, those are the worst people.
All right. Do you want to hear his Instagram bio?
Yep.
Oh, do I?
Tech exec, investor, traveler, tequila. Live the way you imagined or better.
What a fucking asshole.
Glass of him holding the wine, glass of him on a carpet, glass of him in front of a private jet, him in Aspen, him with skis on his back, him looking wistfully into a camera at a bar, him with a golden retriever, his golden retriever with ski goggles, him holding a knee board saying Mexico is the shit shirt on. Him on a motorcycle, not moving, looking badass like he owns his Harley.
My God. And the thing about this guy, right, is he's like, if he's like a kind of like a classically good looking person, right? He's Swedish. He's got like a jawline, long flowing blonde hair, you know, dresses really nice.
Stubble,
But he's so ugly on the inside. You know? Did you get that feeling where you just look at him and you're like, God, that guy's hideous.
He's just a shell of a man. Yeah, there's just nothing inside.
And like every mannerism like made you cringe.
And every single time he would have the exact same outfit on, but every single piece was a different one. You know what I mean? So it was the pop collar with the vest on for some reason.
Yeah.
But it was always a different collared shirt and a different colored vest. So he like that's what his closet is that. And probably like dark designer jeans.
Yeah, this guy just screams LA, you know?
Oh my God, yeah. Oh yeah. He my question is I just want to know what his dad did to be rich so that he could be this kind of guy.
Well, until January he was the president of music.
All music?
At Dynasty Sports and Entertainment.
Oh, okay.
I'm on his LinkedIn.
Did you guys see the episode where he brought in like
wait, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other jobs where he's until present.
What does he do with himself?
He's got 5 jobs. He just ended his one in January.
Wait. There's a hockey player with the exact same name.
He does look kind of like a hockey player with that flow and all that. Like
he played in 2 games in the NAHL for the Springfield Junior Blues back in 2000. I don't know if that's the same guy, but how many?
No, it can't be him.
Schuyler Hoversteins are there? Yeah, like he definitely didn't build his own wealth, did he? Like that's the feeling I got.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't come off as a very savvy business person.
No.
Did you see the episode where he brought in the expert guy, the entertainment expert?
Yeah.
For the home opener, and then the guy just like didn't fucking show up for anything.
Yeah.
And so the guy who KISS usually has do that sort of stuff, like had to take it all over last minute.
And they were doing like the intros to the players, and they had like, you know, flames on the field, like strobe lighting, and they were gonna drop them in this like cage looking thing from the
ceiling. Yeah,
which is badass, objective.
Which is it's sweet.
Yeah.
But then JJ missed missed the
Yeah,
missed
two
the
of them.
bus.
It
Yeah,
was supposed to be
Well,
the four captains on the actual platform that dropped from the ceiling, but it dropped before everybody could get there. So there's only two of the guys who made it onto the platform before it dropped.
and then the other two had to take the elevator down to the field.
Yeah, they had to walk all the way back down. And the
Sweating.
guy-
There was a moment in there that made me love JJ. He goes to the other guys, goes, well, maybe next game. Like they're gonna do this every single game.
Dude,
Oh,
that was a laugh out loud moment.
yeah. No, I caught me good. Yeah, it was fantastic.
And they had like, just to paint a picture, they had like halftime shows where dudes would, they'd set up ramps for dirt bike guys and they'd come out and do backflips.
Oh,
They
yeah.
had like, they had
They didn't have cheerleaders;
Hot.
they had dancers.
yeah, and they had hot chicks playing the guitar for the national anthem, but they try and play it like Jimi Hendrix, and then
Yeah.
she forgot how to play
Yeah, that's
it.
awkward as shit.
Just yeah,
All kisses in attendance too.
yeah. They had the fucking head coach out on the field, like helping them set up like equipment before the season opener,
Yeah, like
just
putting
because they were so
stickers
short on
banners and
time.
shit, yeah.
Yeah. They had to push the doors because they weren't ready for the season opener. The season opener,
Yeah.
they weren't ready for.
So,
Oh,
So I looked up like the LA Kiss is total. They did 3 seasons, and they actually made the playoffs in the 3rd season. And they had to have their playoff game in San Diego because the Honda Center was sold to the Ringling Brothers when they're supposed to have their game, and then they tried to do it the next day, and it was sold to WWE.
oh
So
my
like the only like carnival in town got booted by another 2 carnivals.
Oh Jesus!
dude, they should do a Ringling Brothers arena football team.
Oh, yeah. We should put together an arena football team.
No, we shouldn't. It just
Can't be
folded.
nice.
It clearly doesn't work.
Steve, I just think they haven't done it right.
I
think
don't.
they should.
No, why would anyone think this was a good idea?
I think it probably was a decent. I think if you did it like they did. What was the other football league that they used to have?
To XFL?
Oh,
No,
the
the USFL.
oh,
Where it was
those
like a
other leagues that failed.
Well, that was actually becoming really popular until Donald Trump ruined it.
Oh, let's not get political here, Andy.
Oh no! Haven't you seen the 30 for 30 on it on the USFL? Like what they
Andy?
did is basically they dropped a shit ton of money on guys coming out of college.
Andy, it was a beautiful league.
The best.
It was the best, most competitive league you've ever seen.
Everybody's saying it. People are saying it. But yeah, and like because they actually got Steve Young, I think, to play in it.
Doug
And
Flutie,
and Doug Flutie and like some other big name talent.
Jim Kelly.
Yes, yeah, that's what. Yeah, because the big games were always Jim Kelly and Steve Young, and so it's actually like starting to gain some momentum. And then I think Trump bought a team, and then used his influence to, because what they would do is they were like a spring league, so they would play opposite when the NFL was on, so they never competed directly with the NFL that way, except for players. And so, but then Trump bought a team and used his influence to force the rest of the league to go along with him, where they tried to play at the same time as the NFL, and they just got fucking wiped out. But up until then, it was actually like gaining ground, and it was becoming like an actual league and making money.
I'm bummed the XFL restart didn't get going, or kind of had to get it folded, right? With all the COVID stuff going on.
Yeah.
Those DC games are electric.
Did you go
It's
to any?
a novelty, dude.
I heard they're pretty fun. And they had that beer snake going on, which also looked awesome.
But that only gets you so far, you know?
I mean,
They're
I think
playing
it
in
was-
like the soccer stadium, the new soccer stadium there, so it was like a better, stadium for the product.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But like, think about it though, right? You still have all the same issues as the NFL, right? You still have the brain damage thing, and no one's making any money. So it's not gonna. It was never gonna work.
I don't know.
It's never gonna work, dude. People don't want. They'll go if something's new, but it's never gonna stick around unless you have the best players.
Right.
That's why the MLS is still like nothing compared to the Premier League or something.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's true.
Where it's like people go to those games,
yeah, because themselves because they're not paying anybody actual money,
right? And or like women's sports.
Oh boy, here we go.
No one will ever take them serious because they're bad.
You're saying you'd rather watch a U.S. men's national team game over a women's national team game?
Yes.
I would not.
Well, that's because you're a gay boy.
I'd rather watch success.
I'm with Andy.
I think that may be the only
but
one that I can come up with where I'd rather watch the women's version.
But it doesn't appeal to you at all about like to me that seems like you're just like riding a coattail of like bandwagon fan,
Okay, success is success.
Okay, what about like the women's national basketball team?
Are they successful?
Is that a thing?
Yeah, I mean they're probably the best in the world, right?
I don't know. Maybe.
Well, definitely, dude. We're the best at basketball, without a doubt. Without a doubt, men and women's.
Wait, I had this debate the other day. Actually, it wasn't a debate. It was more of a rant. Why do we play international rules basketball? We invented the fucking game. Same with hockey. Well, hockey, maybe I can understand it since it started in Canada, but still. Why the hell are we playing international rules?
To give other people a chance.
No, fuck that.
Oh, well, we still dunk on their asses. I'm just saying, right? So just because you're the best in the league doesn't mean that I want to watch. Like women's soccer, to me, I think is pretty good because it's fairly competitive. The U.S. are the best. And like visually, the drop off between men and women's soccer isn't that much. Right. But like you watch basketball and it's like,
I'm not watching the WNBA.
Whoa, this is a completely different sport, So it's like, to me, and it's the same thing, right? You watch arena football and the product is just, or XFL, it's not even close to the NFL.
I disagree. I think it's as close. I think XFL is as close to the NFL as women's soccer is to men's soccer. Using your analogy. I think it's a close enough facsimile.
But then the argument is like, okay, so say there's a Patriots that suck and there's like the best team in the XFL. You're going to go to an XFL game over a Pats game?
If it's my team, yeah. Why not?
That's wild. Steve, thoughts?
Like if there was a New Hampshire XFL team, you goddamn right I'd go to that.
I would rather watch the DC XFL team than the Washington Redskins.
That's because they're better. That's because they're actually better.
Wasn't that what you were saying, Greg?
Well, that's different though. That's not
even
like
the environment the environment at a DC game, whatever the fuck they were called, would be better than the Redskins environment. The stadium sucks. It's in the middle of nowhere in Maryland. Half of it is tarped off. It's half unsold. Where at DC, like, it's a smaller stadium. They play where the DC United play, so it's full.
Saying, Greg, if
they got the beer snake, which is like their thing,
I'd still go to an NFL game.
If there was a game in Raleigh right down the street from you,
I'd go if I had to go to DC or a Redskins game or whatever the hell the XFL team was called. I'd go to a Redskins game.
No,
I don't think I would.
They're the best of the best.
Yeah, but you're giving Dan Snyder your money too.
Yeah,
I don't give a shit about Dan Snyder.
I don't want to perpetrate that douche.
It was $8.
Fair.
Paid more in gas to get here.
I think I actually weren't XFL tickets more expensive at one point than Redskins tickets?
Yes, yeah, they were giving away Redskins tickets last year. It was ridiculous.
Which is hysterical. But I mean, I think there is space for another football team. Because I mean, college football that level of talent isn't as good as the NFL, but people watch that, right? I think it's just
arguably it is. I think it's just raw. It's not. I mean, it's a bit. It's more distributed. But they're all the players that end up in the NFL, right? So these guys clearly have talent. They're just like raw talents.
We'll see what happens with the college basketball now that they can go right to the G League and get paid.
Yeah. College basketball's done for.
Don't say that. You don't say that.
Speaking of talent, the best player on the LA Kids.
No, I think we need to talk about the star of this show. We haven't done it yet.
Wait, let me guess. Star of the show. Oh, you got to guess, Steve?
I mean, I was going to go down the Bo Bell rabbit hole, but I guess.
I mean, Coach House.
That's exactly who it is.
We got to end on Coach Howe.
That's what I'm saying. Well,
let's talk about Bo Bell.
We're an hour and a half in, bro.
Wait. Let's talk about Captain Morgan first. Guy's a talent. How did he never make the NFL?
He could catch.
I think he caught a couple passes.
In the
NFL?
Mm-hmm.
What was his name? Somebody stat check this. We got stat check.
I did. I stat checked that he got like four passes, maybe.
Who did he play for?
The Bills or the Eagles?
No, well, they were because at the beginning they had that defensive back who
Donovan
was gonna make the Eagles, but then he missed the bus to the last preseason game, and they basically told him, "Yeah, that was your chance."
Yeah, I've been there.
4 for 42.
Yeah, but you're already on the team, Greg.
Yeah, I did that. I literally did that.
I know. We've talked about it. You just missed, but your coach didn't even notice until you called him.
Captain Morgan played for the Jets, the Texans, the Chiefs, and the Bills on training camp only in the Bills. Yeah. He played 3 games with the Texans in 2005, caught 4 passes, 42 yards.
Did he ever catch a touchdown pass in the NFL?
No.
Oh, I'm surprised at that.
But he's not the best player of the NFL resume on there.
Who is?
Bo Bell was drafted by the Browns, 4th round, 104 overall.
Wow.
He was their first draft pick that year. They must have traded away all of their 1st, 2nd, and 3rd round picks.
That doesn't sound like the Browns.
Classic Browns. It kind of sucks that he got a knee injury in the Senior Bowl. And then he got his knee scoped his rookie year and then got placed on IR in December and then didn't make the camp the next year.
Damn.
And that just kind of goes to show, like, dude, he was sick in college. The Mountain West Conference defensive MVP. Drafted in the 4th round and then just like a poorly timed injury pushed him to the 4th round. I said he might even have been a 1st rounder. And they never recovered in the first year and then see you later.
Brutal.
But he played 2010 to 2017 in the Arena Bowl or in the Arena League.
He sure did. For a lot of teams.
He seemed like a nice guy.
Yeah, he seemed like
his brother was a little too upbeat for me.
Yeah.
I knew he would be.
It's like, come on, dude. Ain't nobody happy.
He didn't have that competitive edge.
Yeah, needed a killer edge.
Yeah, he was just happy to be there. All right. So now do we get to the star of the show?
Hoss. Big Hoss.
Coach House. Walt Houseman.
He's a legend.
He is. So he's actually born in Marshall, Missouri. Which is weird because he all talks about his his time in New Hampshire. And he says he's from New Hampshire, so he must have like grown up there. But he went to Merrimack High School, Merrimack, New Hampshire. Same high school that my wife graduated from. Go Red Hawks, I think they are.
Let's go Red Hawks.
I don't actually know.
They are not the Red Hawks.
It's something like that. Come on, how do we not know this?
Well,
I must have played them in high school.
That's what I mean, yeah. Must have, right?
Tomahawks. Ooh,
Tomahawks. that's close. Yeah.
problematic.
I
The T words.
Self-censored there. Who knew? Woof. So, Coach House actually played football. Where did he play as? What did he say? Do we know? Oh, American football offensive tackle. Played one season with the Saints in the NFL back in 1987, and played in the AFL as well. Probably as an offensive lineman, I would think. But in this, he was the assistant coach, and he was, I think, the most interesting person by a long shot in this whole series.
I kept wishing for more Coach House.
The fact that they didn't have more Coach House is criminal, I think.
Goddamn
Yeah.
shame.
Like, he should have his own show, I think. Whatever the fuck he's doing now. I don't know what he's doing now, but whatever it is, somebody should be fucking filming it.
That's true. If you're looking to generate storylines, that was the guy, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, the first time you saw him, he was introducing himself to the team or something and talking about how this was this first season of coaching that he hadn't been with his cat.
Yeah. He's like, "What's up, you bunch of slap dicks?" First of all, this is the only year I haven't been with my cat, and it's pissing me off.
Second of all,
It's like,
I'm from New
dude,
Hampshire.
yeah, it's like, dude, this guy's electric.
There was one where he said like a replacement for a swear word and then went back and corrected himself with the swear word.
He was by far the most bleeped person in this whole thing. But you could
Yeah.
still understand exactly what he was talking about. But he definitely, at least in this, I thought he looked like he should be in like a late 90s, early 2000s rock band. Like, if you told me he was a member of Hoobastank, I would have thought, yeah, I could see that.
Hoobastank.
Hoobastank.
I don't know why Hoobastank.
Yeah, what? He seems like he's too big for that. He's a big boy.
Well, that's what I mean. He's like a meaty version of like the lead singer of one of those bands, like a Hoobastank type of band.
Why? Because of the goatee?
That and just like the bleach blonde hair and just he had
I
that
don't
kind of
know.
like vibe.
You know, you could
With an
have been
edge
in Hoobastank, Andy.
I'm not blonde enough, or musically talented enough. But thanks, Greg.
You're welcome.
Just gave me an excuse to say the word Hoobastank. But so, how many quotes did you write down from Coach House? Because he was easily the most quotable guy.
I didn't take any notes at all. if
Me
I'm
either.
being honest.
Yeah.
No?
There's
All right.
one quote that really stuck out in my mind that I thought was so fucking funny.
I'm curious if it's the same one that I came up with.
It probably is. When he was freaking out.
On the interception return for a touchdown.
Well, he's in the locker room.
What about playing cover zero?
No, when he was like, "You gotta go out there and you gotta fuck them up." He's like, "Just put your dicks in them."
That may be his go-to because I think it was the first game where, like right at the end of the game, they returned an interception that I think set up the winning field goal. And at the beginning of the play, it was like a deep ball. And he's like, "I don't love this at all." Yes, I love it.
Yeah.
And then he's running it back, and they come back. He was like, "Stick it in their asshole."
That was it. Stick it in their asshole. Dude.
And that's just him being excited for a play that's happening in front of him.
Yeah, man. He's a
But then at
legend.
halftime of that, I think it was the same game, or maybe it was a different game. But he's talking about like, "I fucking love you guys, but half of all love ends in divorce. So get the fuck out there." Fuck these people
See?
up.
He wasn't like freaking out every game. He was freaking out just enough.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, like losing his shit when he broke
They're like quotable too. So it's like, all right, that's just who House is, you know?
yeah,
Oh, when he smashed that whiteboard up, that was
yeah,
like AMC's. They must have used that in all their commercials and everything. I'm like,
100%.
yeah.
And
Bunch
there
of
was one
fucking
episode where
slap dicks.
where they Kiss was going to be on ESPN, so they brought House in to explain football to him, and he's like literally just immediately in the weeds, like trying to explain to them what like cover zero was and everything, like a single high safety. And he gave them their playbooks. He's like, if you lose these, you get fined. Like, oh, fucking hell.
He's a football
And they're
guy.
like, and then one of the Kiss guys is like, so how many heart attacks have you had? He was like, none. I'm 50 years old. I'm hyper. Fuck yeah.
Did you watch the last episode, Andy?
I watched the first half of it. I didn't get to finish before we're doing this.
Did you see his like
I did.
bit?
So this is kind of how I wanted to end this whole episode.
Yeah, because this is what makes him actually legit. Like all the other shit was just like funny, and he's like football guy. But this was actually like him being a quality dude.
Yeah. Walk me through it.
So they end the season going what 3-15 or something like that.
Yep.
And they like the second to last game they lose to like a team that was even worse than them.
Yeah, if
Brett
they won that game, they would have been in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like every team except one makes the playoffs, I guess, from the sounds of it.
Yeah. Handlebar Brett is on a warpath. Like him and Skyler call in each of the three coaches individually into his office.
Well, their goal is to fire Scott, the player personnel guy.
Right. So they bring in the head coach and they're like, your whole staff blows. You guys are terrible. We're just gonna fire Scott. It's like
we're thinking about firing Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards it.
Which made no sense.
Yeah. And Coach Bob's like, no.
Yeah, he's like, I've been with these guys forever.
Yeah,
That's
Coach Bob's like, I
idea.
take all responsibility. It's my fault.
Yeah.
Fire me. If you're going to fire anybody, fire me. And they're like,
yeah.
No, I want to fire Scott.
Yeah. And then they brought in Scott, and they're like, I'm thinking about firing you. And Scott was just like, all right.
No, Scott, it was great. No, Scott was like, yeah, all right. I disagree, but if you're going to do it, you got to do it today.
Yeah.
You can't tell us when to fire you. And he's like, yeah, I can. It's like, if you don't want to be here, just fucking like, don't leave me hanging for 2 weeks. Like, just fucking do it.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't. They couldn't do it. I thought that was great.
And then they brought in Coach House by himself, and they were like, they started out and they're like, we've talked to people in the league, and you're the best defensive coordinator in Arena Football League. Yeah, we want to keep you on board. And he was like, oh wow, you could tell he's like, I didn't see this conversation going this way. Yeah. And then they were like, but we're gonna fire Scott. And he was just like, no. He's like, if Scott goes, I go. He starts like tearing up, and he was like, I've seen that kid grow from, a kid that didn't know his ass from his elbow to being the best.
Fucking word, just sat in the corner and did whatever he fucking told him to do.
He's like, if Scott goes, I'm leaving too.
Yeah, and I wrote that, if you fire Scott, I will not come back. And like he's saying this through tears, like tears are pouring out of his eyes. Oh, it was amazing. Gave me goosebumps.
Yeah, he's just a legend,
Like Coach Bob and Coach House, those are guys you want to have coaching you, because they both just like immediately went to bat for their guys,
Yep, 100%.
They did it for their players all the time, as much as they could.
Yep.
And they did it for each other. Like they knew that it's one of them or all of them,
Well, even after like when they were sitting in the restaurant and Scott had like his 15th massive lip in. He was like, well, at least this year, like none of us turned on each other, but like we all had each other's back the whole time.
Yeah.
They
And
probably
even
made a
like the
shitload of
coach that they kept on, he's like, well, like I can't quit because then I can't get rehired for another year, and I won't get any severance. So he was like a lame duck coach just sitting there.
Yeah.
Wait, so how did it end? Did they
They brought in Bob and Scott, and they're like, yeah, Coach House is fishing in Nova Scotia, so he can't be here.
what?
And then they fired Scott, and Coach Bob was like, no, fire me. It's my fault. Fire me. And like, no, we're gonna fire Scott. You have to stay. So then they interview him afterwards. He's like, yeah, I can't leave because then I guess he couldn't get rehired for another year,
Oh my god.
and he wouldn't get any severance. But then I guess Kiss stepped in and fired those two fucks.
Yeah, they looked so bad in that whole process.
Yeah.
Brett and
Yeah, they were the
Skyler.
worst.
It's like they're trying to scapegoat someone for like,
Yeah.
you're an expansion team, like 3 wins is pretty good.
Yeah, it's just how this works.
Yeah, and if you want to fire someone, you're gonna fire the player personnel guy. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
dude?
clean
Like,
house and
hey,
the coaching staff. Yeah.
yeah,
Especially
either go
when, like,
all in or
the player
endorse.
personnel guy was the one that got overran by douchey in the first place.
Yeah,
Yeah, they said they had 90 something transactions
it's
on
just
a 25-man roster.
It's just horrendous management. Like, you have two options, right? Get rid of everyone, start clean, and then you're like showing that you're doing something. Or like back the group and be like, all right, I still trust you guys. We're going to go into next year with all of you guys intact, and I believe in you. Instead, he like divides the team, makes everyone angry, increases tension, and has like half a fucking coaching staff. Like, what? How is that your solution? Like,
Literally.
it's
It would've
just
been like, you could even frame it different, like, dude, we can't afford a personnel guy.
yeah. To just like point fingers and blame someone you know they're like best friends with, and then fire that guy and be like, all right, so you're good for next year, right? It's like it's just ludicrous to think that would work.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I don't know how these people get money. It's just baffling.
You're just good at one thing, and that's making money, and that's it.
Yeah.
How, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that dude lost a fuck ton of money in this
I
venture.
hope so. I hope so.
So do I. Yeah, there's not much on him on the internet, just in general, like after the Kiss era.
They were
There's
like,
not
we're gonna
really
spend $50,000 a game in entertainment.
Yeah.
So they had 10,000 people coming to each game. I know that for a fact at a minimum 10K.
It's ridiculous.
I don't know the math works.
Yeah, I don't think so. Because I mean, how expensive are those tickets? Probably not that expensive. I think when we got our tickets, they were $10 a seat. Not great.
And then you consider like actually paying for the arena to rent the arena.
Yep. Yeah, that's true.
They must have been hemorrhaging money.
Being generous and saying they got 15,000 people there, they're spending $3+ on just entertainment of their ticket price.
Ugh.
That's not including any of the overhead, any paying the players, anything else,
Right.
just on
Exactly. Jesus.
entertainment above the football game. Oh my! And if you're charging $300 a ticket, sure, that's 1%.
That's LA, baby. It's a tough town.
Yep. And LA only likes winners, and they didn't get one on this team.
Well, again, like Greg said, their expectations were totally misset. Like you'd have to come into this and be like, all right, I got some deep pockets. We can establish a franchise, suck for a couple years, then get good with the right system and enough patience. But they started losing that losing streak. A couple games in, they're just freaking out. All right, let's call a quarterback out of retirement.
Yeah.
We need to
you have
win
the
now.
same-
They said that sometimes. We need to win now.
Yeah,
Right.
your business plan needs to be we come in with the expectation of losing more games than we win in the first year. And we can
Read your plan.
survive. Yeah, we can survive because of XYZ.
Yeah.
But
Then we turn a profit in year 5.
Oops.
I would love to see their business plan for this.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I bet it was drawn in crayon.
Did you hear how it started? Kiss played the Arena Football Championship game, I think the year before. And he beat them at that game. They played at the halftime show.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And what the fuck's his name?
Douchey pitched him, I think, at the show.
Yeah, because he was I don't think he was a co-owner, but he had something to do with one of these.
I think he was an exec or something on one of the teams, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. That team would eventually go on to sue him for embezzling money off of them.
No way.
Whoa.
Ticket scalping thing, yeah.
Sweet.
I'll post that link too.
Although I could probably sell Kiss on the Kiss carpet, Kiss catheter. Because I'm pretty sure
right?
they don't give a shit at all. They're like, oh yeah, you want to brand some? Go ahead.
Make money.
Yeah.
Would you like the regular catheter or the Kiss catheter?
Yeah. See, that
That'd
makes
be an
me
extra $15,000, sir. Okay.
It is like the Trump thing, right? Where I'm pretty sure, I don't know what the finances were here, but I don't know if they like were that invested financially.
I don't think so. I think
They're like a branding tool.
Right. Or maybe just like licensing their name or something.
Right.
Yeah,
It's the same thing Trump
sure.
did with his hotels where they would pay Trump to use the name, but he's not financing the whole building or construction or anything like that.
Yeah. It
So
felt
it's just
like
like
that.
it's like a purely marketing branding thing.
Yeah. So Brett's the one that had all the money into it from the sounds of it.
It did sound like that.
Yeah, this is what I found from the Orange County Register. Ex-partner sues LA Kiss executive. A federal lawsuit filed this week claims the managing partner of the LA Kiss Arena Football League team mismanaged and diverted funds from the Florida team he previously owned. The suit, filed blah blah blah, contends that Brett Boushey committed fraud by profiting from tickets sold by scalpers to Orlando Predator games. And it also said Boushey didn't disclose all of the Florida team's debts when selling his majority share last year. So basically, he would take like 3,000 tickets per game, give them to this group of scalpers, and then they would all split the profits outside of like the actual like ticket sales stuff.
That's probably how he got his money, selling his stake in his team.
Right. And then after the sale of the team, he delivered a balance sheet to whoever he sold it to showing $88,000 in liabilities, but that didn't disclose at least $450,000 in outstanding loans and expenses.
Whoops.
My bad.
Yeah, that was that. No, that $500,000. Don't worry about that.
Going off by $300,000. No big deal. Yeah, Boushey regularly received a split of Predator tickets sold by scalpers, draining funds from the team's coffers. The team would regularly print an extra 3,000 tickets to Orlando games, distributed to a broker who would then give the tickets to scalpers. Money generated from the street sales were split among the scalpers, the broker, and Boushey.
I hate Brett.
I can't believe there's that much demand for the games. I guess it probably is like walk up. You're like, yeah, I'll go to the game today.
Right, exactly, yeah. But still, yeah, he's such a slimy, like, skis ball. Sort of.
He's a weasel. Yeah, he's a weasel.
Yeah.
That definitely fits his look.
Yeah.
Personality.
So if you have some free time and you're looking for some football that you've never seen before, and you have an Amazon Prime account, or you want to watch it on wherever the fuck I found it. What did I say? Tubely or something?
Tubi.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, TubiTV.com. It's all on there for free.
Snapface.
And I reckon
Belichick's probably watched this just for like scouting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I bet he scouted the.
He heard that
linebacker.
PJ Bell was a raw talent.
Yeah. So all right, I think that we've done almost 2 hours on a TV show that nobody's ever watched. Not bad, gentlemen.
It's better than the 10 hours I spent watching it.
Is it though?
It's equally as bad. We'll call it that.
Yeah, I'm
Nice.
sure Kelly will still cry when she listens to this.
I know.
Once you get to the point about where you slag on women's sports.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's
Somebody
heard
who
that
married
diatribe.
A
Yeah.
female soccer player.
Yeah. Just check the stats on our co-ed team. They speak for themselves.
So
Yeah.
both
guys
of you
keep
played
stats.
soccer in college. Which one of you scored more goals?
Neither.
She didn't score goals.
No.
Oh.
But the
Did she-
team that we played together on, Andy, Real Midriff, Division C, Tuesday nights, co-ed soccer.
Yeah.
Your boys lighting it up.
Division C. That'd be better
Yeah.
than that. At least Division B.
No comment.
They keep stats.
No, but Greg
I
does.
keep stats.
Fucking love it.
I'd have more assists if the rest of them didn't fucking suck.
That's what you get for playing co-ed, Greg.
Do you want to call anybody out specifically here, since we're doing this? Maybe they listen. Maybe they'll
Kelly?
step up their game.
Kelly.
All right, it's
Just
mostly
Kelly.
Yeah, she's got to use her left foot. What? Oh, no, I was just talking about you on the podcast. She just came at the wrong time.
Now she's gonna have to listen to the episode to find out what she said.
All right. And she have to wait like 2 hours to hear it.
She's gonna have to wait like 6 months before we even release this fucking thing anyway.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. This has been a pleasure. And hopefully this was
As
a
always.
departure from the regularly scheduled thing for whatever reason. But yeah, we'll see you next week on the Patriots Dynasty podcast. See you later.
See you.